this thing on? Oi. Good morning, sunshine. How are you doing? Maybe if you missed a few videos, you might be looking at me and saying, Chris, what are you doing? Where are you? Where's the van? So if you've missed the last few videos, you have to go back a bit because we came back here to Malta, our home country, after 3.5 years away. And yeah, we've been here for 2 months now nearly, just catching up. We've been enjoying it, we've been going out, and obviously you've seen us film some videos as well. Very nice to visit some of the nice, beautiful spots here, especially in Gozo. For our final week, we're going to be moving back with Charlene's parents. Can you hear that crane? It's so annoying. That's the thing over here, like there's this crane, it's been here since before we left. It was here, I think, 4 years ago. And when it's windy, or even just a little bit of wind, it just makes this horrible noise. And people just have to put up with it. That's one of the downsides of living here in Malta. Oh, we've been here, it's been cool because we could leave Holly indoors sometimes and go out to meet friends. We didn't do it a lot, but we even went to this comedy show, Michael McIntyre, who we love, and it was amazing. Like, keep in mind, we never really go to anything like that because of Holly. We're not going to go to an event or something and leave her in the van. So that aspect of being back here is quite nice. As well as that, living in an apartment is easy because we have electric, I can work, I can leave my laptop set up and go out. Water, you've got a washing machine. It's just everything is on easy mode. But at the same time, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, it's just not the same. And we're so used to just living in our van, traveling, and obviously that life has its challenges, but we love it. Our original plan was to come here for about 1 to 2 months. There is something that's a bit out of our control that's keeping us here, but this week we should be able to get going. I can't wait to see the van again. It's been so long now that you kind of forget your old life. I don't know if you've done anything like this before, but when you're in a routine and you break that routine, after a certain time, your reality just gets a bit twisted. I don't know how to explain it really. Like before, when I used to work full-time as a job, we'd have like a holidays, you know, and you go out for a week or 2 max. Like the most I've ever been out was 2 weeks. So imagine, like from 16 years old for about 10, 12 years, just literally only having 1 week holiday or 2 weeks holiday maximum, and then you have like short little breaks. And then we went to Australia in 2017 for the first time, and we went for about 6 weeks, I think it was, or 5.5 weeks, something like that. And after the 3rd or 4th week, you just kind of disconnect from your old life and you kind of settle in to what you're doing. And I remember it was at that point where we said, listen, we want to do something different, because I couldn't imagine going back. And obviously we had to go back, and then we moved into the van about 4 years later, so it's quite a long process. But right now, it's kind of the opposite of then, if you understand what I mean. Like, we've been living this life, and now we've been here for 2 months, and like our normality has changed. So although I'm really looking forward to get back to the van, I can't seem to remember what it was like, and this has become our normal. Again, don't get me wrong, it's been great here exploring around, and we've met some amazing people and had a good time really. But yeah, I think 2 months is a bit too long because we lost track of what we were doing. So as sad as it's going to be to leave everyone, I'm secretly looking forward to get out of here and get back to our old life, which has its challenges as well, but I don't know. That's what we love.
So I'm going to take Holly for a walk, and I have this piece of cake with me. Oh, I really hate this noise. I really hate it. Chris hates it more than me, but now, you know, when I'm outside, it's really bothering me. Anyway, and we have a piece of cake for someone. There's this guy, he lives here in Schlendi, and every time I go out with Holly, we've been chatting, you know, and he's been giving me some onions, potatoes from his field, and he's so friendly. We love to chat with each other, and today is his birthday, so I'm gonna give him a piece of cake. I hope he's here. Charlie!
Hello.
Alright! Right, Happy birthday! Today is actually my last time that I'm gonna be looking at this splendid view of Schlendi. I'm really gonna miss this place, guys. I'm really gonna miss it. It feels surreal that we're leaving now. This is way heavier than I really thought. I'm gonna miss the cliffs, I'm gonna miss this splendid view, and yeah, I'm gonna miss Gozo. I'm crying, guys, I'm crying, oh my god. But it's really, really wonderful to be out here for the very last time. Don't get me wrong, Malta and Gozo are really, really nice when you are in places like this. But when you live here, it's completely different because there's rubbish on the streets. Everyone live together like chickens in cages, and yeah, it's too much for me. The sea today is so rough. You don't want to be swimming in these waters, guys. A lot of people, unfortunately, especially Brits, they come and they swim when it's like this as well. And for us Maltesers, we know that it's very, very dangerous. While I love traveling and trying different cuisines around the world, I always miss the flavors of home. Today I'm cooking a very traditional dish. It's called soppa tal-armla. It's with cauliflower, carrots, potatoes, and our famous local produce, jbeina. And there's no other word for it in English, I think. They call them cheeselets as well, but that's not the correct word. So let's stick with jbeina. Before we started van life, we used to travel a lot, and it was always comforting just to come back home and cook that traditional meal.
So we are packed up again, as you can see. Today we're heading to Malta. We just stopped to buy some nice treats. Nice sausage roll there. That's it for our time in Gozo.
In the buildings, especially just opposite in Slima. It changed so much. Allura pa fejja dinaw. Fejja dinaw.
Fej il-paviera l-belt.
Għarja xħajaqsam da. Bil-mont.
Fej Santirmu.
Santirmu. This is another type of adventure from us here in Malta. Just in the car, exploring here and there how it changed, you know, and seeing all the differences.
Man, driving here in Malta is absolutely crazy. If you've been here or you live here, you're gonna 100% understand what I mean. It's a totally different type of driving. Even myself, that we've been here now for 1-2 months, I've started driving differently and I've gone back to my old ways. We've driven in about 30-40 countries for sure, and it's definitely the worst in Europe. Maybe the big cities in Italy and Sicily come close, but it's just a jungle out there. People crossing the road without even looking. It's like they want to die. Non-existent stop signs with cars coming out of everywhere, and just everyone in a rush trying to cut in. Again, for those of you that are watching from overseas, I guess you have no idea what I'm saying. You can just imagine how crazy it is. And for those of you that actually live here, it's your normal. And you're going to get used to it. And I almost forgot indicators. They don't exist here in Malta either. Another thing that we've seen really get worse here is the living conditions, like with a lot of construction and rubbish everywhere. And I'm saying this because in our previous videos we've said how beautiful it is here in Malta, and we've got the clean beaches and stuff like that. But I have to point out that not everywhere is like that. I feel that we have like two opposites. So you've got certain areas of the country where they're frequented by tourists, and yeah, by the coastline, promenades, beaches and stuff like that. They're pretty clean, generally speaking, and really nice. So if you're on holiday, you get a certain impression of the island. But then when you go to the most populated towns, you see rubbish everywhere. And even on these stairs here, look, it's just, I don't know, just with a little finishing touch, this place could be beautiful. But as I mentioned, it seems like this is only happening in the tourism areas. And as well as that, having too much construction, although it's good for business, causes these problems where you can't even live in peace. If you look at a lot of the pavements here, they're non-existent, and that's why most people walk in the road, because it's safer. And yeah, generally speaking, everyone we talk to has some construction going on next door or down the road, and that's what you have to put up with living in Malta. It does get a bit depressing. So from one hand, the country is developing, moving forward, so the construction industry generates so much work and so many opportunities as well, but then at the same time it decreases the quality of life, I think. And it's not just one or two areas, it's 75% of the country, I would say. So if you're living in Malta and it hasn't affected you, you're pretty lucky. And when we were abroad, we would see these articles like a lot of deaths, people getting run over, car accidents, construction injuries. And now that we're here, I'm surprised how it's not worse, because the things that we've seen here, even on a simple drive, when you're driving for 1 hour, you get into almost 2-3 accidents. You have to watch what everyone else is doing. Let's say you're driving in the road and you see there's a side street with a stop sign. You can't take it for granted that that person is going to stop, because I don't know, it's about 50-50. They could just keep coming out. So you've always got to watch out. And even with people crossing the road, this is crazy. Like, again, one-way street, cars are coming this way, and someone crosses the road, looking in the other direction. It's like they want to get run over, or maybe they're just trying to get an insurance claim or something. So that to me is crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, you see this stuff all over the world. But when you're driving in Malta and going about in the main towns and main roads where most of the people live, you just see this one after the other, after the other, after the other. And it was shocking to us at first, and now we've kind of just got back into it. Even my driving has changed. Today we have made it to this valley in the north of the island, or well, in the centre of the island, I'd say, and it's called Chadwick Lakes.
Look at the pathway.
So here in Malta, they do things a bit differently. There aren't really any signs. There's these notice boards where they tell you, like, there's animals here, what animals you can see here and stuff like that, but then you don't really know which way to go. So it's not this way, I think it's this way. So on this board here it says that you can see frogs here and also a weasel. And what's nice about this valley is that you have this fresh water running all throughout, and then these little bridges here. Okay. So I don't think we'll see a weasel because I've never seen one here. But when we were young, we used to come here and there used to be a lot of frogs. Really nice, but as you heard there, you can hear, even now, the cars speeding from right beside us. And that's the thing here in Malta. Although there's this really nice nature trail, we're never too far away from the busy roads. They're baby frogs.
How cute they are, right? Don't eat the grass.
Okay, so it looks like this tree has fallen from up here. We need to go around it. Can you get past here, Shah? What artist is it?
تتلاش للمايك.
There you go. Hey, hold. Come on.
You don't get to find this in Austria, and now we are a bit spoiled.
And that's it really. We've hiked in some of the most beautiful destinations all over Europe, I guess. So when you come to places like this, it does seem a little mediocre. But for our time here in Malta and Gozo, we're trying our best to appreciate what we do have. And yeah, it's been such a long time since we come here. It's quite nice. It's just not well
It's really funny
organised.
because this is a very touristic place, but it's a mess basically.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of tourists come to Malta to come hiking here. I think Malta is more of a different type of tourists, you know, like the ones we saw in Camino, and coming for partying and eating out and stuff like that, which is really good here in Malta. In fact, we've only seen 2 couples walking along in the whole area. So this is the reason why this place is called Chadwick Lakes. So Osbert Chadwick, I never knew that. And in Maltese, this place is called Wit Aleia, but everyone just calls it Chadwick Lakes, I think. It's easier like that. So this place used to be quite a bit different before. And over the past few years, we must have done this part all new here. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of work that can be done to make this place nicer, but this whole area here looks to be new and must have been done in the last few years. So as I mentioned earlier on in the video, this is going to be our last week here on the Maltese Islands. Kind of sad, but at the same time, last week we had a lot of wind, it was rainy and horrible weather, and we're also feeling a bit sick. We've actually been sick twice each since we've been here, which is really weird because like normally we just get sick once a year maybe, and now in 2 months we've got sick 4 times between us. And I think what it is just that we've been socializing a lot and yeah, spending time with people, whereas normally in the van we're just on our own, and if there's any bugs going around we never get them. I'll tell you something, this sunny day here is making up for it so much.
Yeah, but post.
You don't like it?
Nah.
So since Charlene's been back, she's just been making TikToks in Maltese complaining about the place. She doesn't like it, and she has a point because look at this, there's a bit of rubbish
hold
here.
on. I make Maltese TikToks, but this is the first place that I've come in Malta, and there's rubbish everywhere, you know, there's a lot of overgrown grass where you can't even walk with a dog or even with a kid. And yeah, today I'm making a TikTok about that.
That's why you're upset.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? Should she be upset or not? There's really nice spots here, it's really nice to walk. Then you get to places like this, and yeah, it's a bit disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, there should be at least one person that comes here every day just to take care of this place.
Funny. So it's definitely not the Socha River in Slovenia, but at least it's enough for someone to come here and enjoy a bit of nature on a sunny day like today. Oh. Come on, Holly.
Ooh.
You did it once, you can do it again. So a couple kilometers further up from Chadwick Lakes, there's this old rubble wall. It's called Victoria Lines, and it crosses from the western side of Malta across, I think, to the other coastline. And then from this point here, there's this nice chapel and an excellent view of the north of the island. Fun fact, the last time we caught a flight was nearly 4 years ago. So we're obviously traveling around all the time, and I think if we were to catch an airplane today, we'd most likely be scared because we haven't done it in so long. Don't fall in. We've made it to the coastline. This behind me here is called Jnejna Bay. It's a very beautiful beach, and like all along this area here, it's a very nice part of the island in our opinion. It is a bit disappointing because there's quite a lot of rubbish though washed up in the sea, and again there's bins everywhere, so there's no excuse. Everyone is just chucking rubbish out. Then on windy days like today, all gets blown into the sea, and this is what you end up with. But there's 3 nice areas here if you're ever here in Malta. Like this is Jnejna Bay, as I mentioned, and then further along here there's Apple's Eye, Ain Tuffiha, which is really nice because you've got this rock which juts out, really a unique spot. And then on the other side there's this place Fom Erich. It's a bit too far to hike, I think, for today. We might stop by with the car in a minute, but it's just over this mountain here. Well, mountain. Just over these huge rocks here. And then right in the distance over there is our favourite place, Schlendi, which unfortunately we left. What is quite surprising, that all these places here in Malta you won't really see many people whatsoever. And Gozo has become really popular with tourists. This place here is very similar to Dweira that we visited in Gozo a few weeks back, but places like that you just have the tourist bus and they're stopping off one after the other, and that's why there's so many people. And as you can see, there's just a couple hiking behind me here, not many people whatsoever. What we can see here though are loads of caravans parked up already, waiting for summer. I don't know if they can stay here in summer any longer because there was a change in the laws last year, but there's definitely a handful, about 10-12 caravans just parked up on the beach here.
Yummy.
What you got there?
Ice cream baby, ice cream baby.
Charlene is living the island life, but you're not dressed for island life.
Nah, I'm not today because it's windy.
How much did that cost you?
$3.80. Not that expensive, right?
So good I had to get one too. And we don't pay for parking here, but we have what's called a parker. And basically he's a guy that just hangs around the parking lot and you give him 50 cents or something like that. This is the Maltese parker guy. ġbina, xibna 50 oħra. Karess li ġejna, u sibni jasħiħa karozza, għedna ħantuk 50 oħra. Yo, this is the parker. We have everywhere in Malta though, yeah?
Yes,
Every
yes,
bay,
yes.
you have a parker who takes care of all the cars.
We're heading to this place. In Maltese it's called Farm Area. It's the mouth of the wind basically in English, I think.
It doesn't sound like a good idea today.
That's how it's called. And today it's a bit windy and Chris is trying to find it on his mobile, which has only 2% left, and I don't have any mobile data, guys. So we don't know where we're going, by the way. We're lost. We think it's this way. Woo! Hold on.
Do you think we'll make it up the hill with this old car?
I don't know.
Come on.
So steep.
Up we go. So I've had a nice little drive about today. What an excellent view behind me. You wouldn't believe it, but although Malta is a really tiny island, there's some places that we've never been. We just passed through this town Bahria and carried on down here. So now we're heading back home to have dinner with Charlene's parents. As I mentioned, this is our last few days in Malta, so I think in the next video, hopefully we'll be back in the van. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, hit the like button if you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
One, two, three.